This is Chris Spiker.
I'm Aaron Goldstein. We're here with our first guest, Jim Baldridge from Dewey Pest Control.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You bet. There was a Dewey Pest Control vehicle out in front of my house this week servicing some traps.
Mm-hmm. That would have been Chris.
Yep. And
The other Chris.
The other Chris. And I said, I need to get Jim on the show.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity and the offer to come by and visit with you and talk about Dewey Pest Control.
Dewey Pest Control has been around for how long?
We're just approaching 90 years. I feel like I've been there the whole 90, but not quite. I've been the branch manager at Dewey for 27 years, and I've been in pest control for 37 years. So, been there a long time.
And it doesn't really matter your location. The important thing today is how do people find you?
Exactly. Yeah, lots of different ways. The website, deweypestcontrol.com. Our phone number, the old-fashioned yellow pages. The Yelp website is always a great place to look. But 661-948-4503 is a great place to start. But there's lots of ways to get a hold of us.
Okay, so even I found out this week that you think there would only be one pest control company in town, Dewey.
Yep.
But there are lots of them, and it's
Sure.
great to have competition.
There is. Yeah, there's lots of them. There's lots of different companies, and we all do very similar thing. And I really don't mind that. People ask, who are your main competitors? And I don't really know, because there's lots of the pie to go around. There's lots of business out there. And so we just concentrate on what we do best. And those who call us and those who we go after, we do the very best we can for them. And the more the merrier. That's the way I look at it. And
So what makes Dewey unique?
Well, a lot
Besides
of things.
you.
Yeah, a lot of things. We're a family-run company. We're in California. We have 32 locations. It started out in 1929 with Ray Dewey, starting out the company back in the Depression, going door to door, when everyone was just trying to get by. And that's kind of when pest control was just getting started as well. So he started up the pest control company, and he was selling moth crystals and different little containers of Lord knows what to control ants in people's houses. And I heard he was actually selling silk stockings too, and then he would sell things to stop the ants from getting the stockings. So that was in 29. In 77, he sold the business to his son, Stephen Dewey. Stephen is the one who really exploded the thing and made it into kind of a lot of what it is today. Stephen then has since passed away, and his sons, Brock and Chip, are at the helm. Brock and Chip are both vice presidents. And then the nice thing that I love, and the thing that gives me hope about it is, and the reason we're a family-owned company and we have hope to continue that, is because Cameron Dewey, the son of Brock Dewey,
Wow.
is a branch manager in Santa Monica on his route up the hill.
So that's the great-grandson.
The great-grandson of the original owner. And the nice thing about it, too, is they don't get a free ticket to corporate. They have to actually earn their way up. So they go through everything. He was a technician. He was a branch manager. He was a salesman. He did door-to-door. He ran a fume crew. He's done everything. So
I'd say he's a keeper.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So really look forward to him, one day being at corporate and carrying on that family tradition.
So what's your product?
Our product is service. Really, that's really what we sell is a service. Bottom line is peace of mind. There's a lot of people out there who just can't handle bugs, and those are the ones we look for. I grew up, with a magnifying glass and a gallon of gasoline. That was kind of pest control in my day on Quartz Hill. But
that doesn't take care of a house.
No,
That just gives a little boy pleasure in the backyard.
Yeah, it's not a great idea. I don't recommend that. It's not labeled for it. We don't recommend that at all. But our product is service. We provide that peace of mind. I have a personal motto for myself and for my branch, and the company has kind of adopted it as well, is be slow to say no. So if a customer asks for something and it's outside of what we normally do, as long as it's not illegal or immoral, be slow to say no. Don't say, no, we don't do that. That's not what we do. That's not how we do it. Figure out a way. Is there a way we can help them? Is there a way we can do that and make that work for them?
Because sometimes your business, like any business, really, it's not about just making a sale when that phone rings. It's about answering questions.
Absolutely.
It's like vector control.
Absolutely.
There's bees at my house.
Yeah.
Well, then,
is there really?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Hold on a
but
second.
there's nothing in my house because you guys are taking care of it.
Okay, good.
Just happy people, that
Yeah.
can sleep at night. But If it was like bees, then isn't there the mosquito abatement?
Yeah.
They do some vector
They,
control.
they will help with that. And
Yeah.
bees, we want to save their lives as much as possible. We don't want to kill bees
So
if we can
sometimes
avoid
you're just
it.
moving them.
Yeah, so we want to get beekeepers involved if possible and have them come and gather them and take them off and let them go on and do what God created them to do. So we don't want to kill bees if we ever can avoid it. Yeah, I love going out to someone who maybe someone else has told them they need to have a fumigation for termites or something, and then we go there and we find out, well, it's really not termites, and there's an easier route or a less expensive route to go, and to see them go from a tormented state of, oh my gosh, it's going to cost me a lot of money, to, oh, I can get through this and not hurt so bad, and give them peace. I really love to do that. So
I think you walked around the perimeter of my house and my yard one time and just gave me a few simple tricks, like move things away from the foundation.
Sure.
Don't stack wood up against the house.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to eliminate harborage as much as possible, eliminate food, things like that. So when you have birds and your bird food falls down on the ground, you want to eliminate that as much as possible so you don't draw things into your property. That's for sure.
And the piece of the sleeping, the piece at night, I had rats.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I grew up in the desert. It's dry.
Right.
There's nothing to eat. There's no
Yeah.
water.
For
But
sure.
how did we get?
Well, back in the 80s when I first started, and people would say, oh, I have rats, that always meant they had mice. It was field mice. And people would say rats, and rats just meant mice. But somewhere in the 90s when we had that El Nino year, and there was just years, and there was a lot of rain, and there's a lot of people moved in from LA and things like that, it just seemed that the rats came. And they got started, and you start to see more and more of it, and then rats do what they do. They repopulate and repopulate, and now we find them everywhere.
And they adapted to
Yeah.
the desert.
They sure do.
Like in the flower business, we would open up a case and a water bug would climb out
Right.
from Thailand or someplace.
Yeah.
Shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't. That's a serious problem too. And speaking of water bugs, or oriental roaches and American roaches, we find those now in places we never ever would have found them before. Back when I started in the 80s, we would find them only like in downtown Lancaster, or downtown Palmdale, in the old areas. But now you find them in California City or Antelope Acres or places like that where you normally wouldn't expect them at all, out in the desert areas where it's not their normal habitat. They like a real moist environment, warm, damp, things like that, and they'll be living in desert, dry areas where they shouldn't want to live, but they'll live. And you'll find them in light fixtures, you'll find them getting in the attic areas and places where they shouldn't be, and doing things you normally wouldn't have them doing. And one of the things, Chris, you talked about when we were talking is like the difference between a one-time service and an ongoing
Right,
maintenance
yeah.
service. Like, why would you do that? And it's kind of like, I was thinking in your industry too, it was about like a plant versus a flower. I can give you a flower and it looks beautiful today, but if I give you a plant, it's going to last for a long time, And so the same thing with an ongoing service. If you said, hey, I just want to have these ants killed today and I'm moving to Oklahoma tomorrow, I'd say a one-time's a great thing.
Yeah.
But if you said, I'm going to live here the rest of my life, I'm going to live out my days,
They
I'd
might
say
come back.
ongoing service
Right.
is the best route to go. So that's usually how I explain that when people call and ask questions. And that's pretty much all I do these days is answer the phone and answer questions and talk to people.
Well, yeah, because you're on top of the hill and you're wise and all-knowing and. No?
I just try. That's all. Just try.
But a one-time visit might cost a little more than just a regular service.
It's like anything, you get a discount when you sign up for an ongoing thing, like your cell phone. If you sign up for a year's contract, or if you pay by the minute, you're going to pay more, So you're better off to get onto a program. And we give discounts when they sign up for an ongoing thing, but we also try to help people as much as possible. And I tell my techs, like, we've had guys go out and it'll be a situation where a person has some mice and they really can't afford anything. They can't afford to do nothing. We'll set up a couple traps, and we can't do a lot, but we'll do something to help them, give them some peace of mind even when they can't afford to pay a thing.
I know, and you held my hand in the beginning with gophers.
I did.
And we still have a gopher count.
Yeah, I know. You win though.
We're talking with Jim Baldridge from Dewey Pest Control. So what is it after 37 years you're still in the biz?
Well, honestly, how it all came about was I got asked. I was coming out of high school and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And a guy who told me that he said, "Well, you want to do this until you figure out what you want to do." And I said, "Okay." So here we are, 37 years later, and I still, when I wake up in the morning, I say, "What do I want to do every day?" And I still don't know. So been doing this forever, and I love helping people. That's the bottom line. I love helping people, and I help my technicians make money and help them do well and succeed. I help people every day just feel better about their homes and take care of their property through termites and things like that. Real quick, I know we don't have a lot of time left, but bed bugs are a super thing that we need to talk about. Bed bugs are a big deal these days, and people need to know to really watch out for that. And people think, oh, well, I don't travel internationally, so I don't have to worry, but you really need to. Just when you have someone come to visit, or you go somewhere, you go to a hotel somewhere, you need to really have your eyes open and watch for it. And if you think you have something, or you think you might have brought something back to your house, get on it right away and watch for it. Going out and buying a new mattress isn't the answer. All you're going to have is a brand new mattress with bed bugs down. So really seek some advice on that if you ever do have a problem with that.
That's an easy one. What else?
Well, another thing we talked about too is the chamber. It's like when I went to that be slow to say no is sometimes we just do networking. Someone will say, well, I want to have that wall fixed, and that's something we don't do, but I can network with someone else through the chamber who does repair walls or paint the wall or fix the fence.
You're a professional, you're a resource.
Yeah, so I can't do it all, but I know someone who can. I know a guy, so I can hook someone up with that who can take care of that. And nothing about Dewey that's different than a lot of the small companies and things like that is I have technicians who work small areas, so they might be only 1 or 2 miles or maybe 6 miles of their route. So they're only 6 miles from your house when the furthest when you need them, so they can get out there and take care of you.
Hey, well, we've been talking with Jim Baldridge from Dewey Pest Control. Thank you for being a chamber member.
Well, thank you very much.
You bet.
Glad to be here.